Hi, my name is Chris. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm doing Leetcode problem 860, lemonade change in JavaScript. It's considered an easy problem. At a lemonade stand, each lemonade costs $5. Customers are standing in a queue to buy from you and order one at a time in the order specified by bills. Each customer will only buy one lemonade and pay with either a $5 bill, $10 bill, or $20 bill. You must provide the correct change to each customer so that the next net transaction is that the customer is paying $5. Note that you do not have any change in hand at first. Given an integer array of bills where bills at I is the bill the I the customer pays, return true if you can provide every customer with the correct change or false otherwise. All right, so let's look at these two examples. So really this is about, really you just need to keep track of how many 5s and 10s you have, okay? And I'll show you what I mean. So if we look at this example here, you get that first 5, you got 1 5, right? So if the customer's giving you 5, it's $5, you don't give them any change, right? So you get to the next 5, you got 2 5s. You get to the next 5, you got 3 5s. Then we get to the next 10, or the first 10. Customer gives you a 10, you got 1 10, you got to give the 5 back. You got 2 5s and a 10. Okay, so now if a customer gives you 20, you got 2 different options of how you can give them change. You can either give them, 1 10 and 1 5. That's going to equal 15, right? Or 5 5s. Okay. So basically, we just need to make sure that we have all those bills for, when we come to 10 or 20, right? If we don't have the proper amount of change, we return false. If we do, we just increment update the number of bills we have. If we come to the end of our loop, we return true because we were able to give everybody the proper change. So let's just look at this other example real quick so this can be really clear. So let's look at example 2. You get a 5 here, you get another 5, then we come to 10. So now we have a 10, but we have to give a 5 and change. Then we get to the next 10, which means we have another 10, but you gotta give a 5 and change. So we have no 5s. So there are 2 possibilities when we have 20 of either giving a 10 and a 5 or 3 5s. We don't have. So this one returns false. All right, let's grab this. Okay, get rid of that. So don't forget, do it now. All right, there's our variable. Create our function. Right now, we're just going to return true. That's going to be our default. And let's console.log function. We should see true. We do. Okay. So we need 2 variables. We said 5s, 0. It's really all we need to keep track of. 5s and 10s, both set to 0. Okay. Let's do our for loop. And you know what? Use map because we can here. Oh jeez, what am I doing? Going too fast. Call our variable num. All right, so we're gonna say if equals 5. All we do here is we increment 5s. Okay. Then, else if num equals 10, well, then we got some options here. Okay, we have some different scenarios. First thing that we want to check, okay, that we need to have at least one 5 to give for change. So we check if 5s equals 0. We go ahead and return false. If that's not the case, we add to 10s and we get rid of 5. Okay. Now the last case is we don't need to specify because there's only 3 options: 5, 10, and 20. So this is whenever this number's at 20. Here we need to check. Okay, so we need to check just like this, but this check has got to be like we said over here. We have 2 possibilities of change. We can either give them a 10 and a 5 or 5 5s, right? So in here we need if let's say 10s equals 0. If that's the case, we need to give them 3 5s. So then we say if 5s is less than 3, the other option that we just described is if 10s is greater than 0, so we have some 10s, and 5s equals 0, because we do need a 5, then, I'm not going to do it like that. Then we return false. Okay. So now if we get rid of this, for example, we should get false. Oh, we get true. That's not good. Why is that? Tens is greater than 0. Hold on a second here. I know why. It's still true because I was trying to do the other example without checking. It's actually this. So now it's going to be false. Still true. And why is that? Okay, let me think about this. So, come to 5. You got 1 5. You got 2 5s. And then you have so let's do this. Right. 0 and 2 on the second 10. So 10s is greater than 0 and 5s equals 0. Return false. Why would that not return it? Why would we be seeing true right now? I know why, because I chose to use map. Oh crap. All right, I'm sorry about this. Let's try to fix this really quickly. Oof, I hate doing this. This always gets dicey, but whatever. I'm gonna try to do this in front of live audience. I equals 0. You can't. The return is not going to break map. That's the problem. You can't break out a map. Now I remember why I used a for loop in the first place. Okay. So I'm just converting this all into a for loop. So now instead of num, we need to say bills at I, and then here again, bills at I, and then we think we just need to get rid of this thing, and I think we're in business. Good. Man. All right. Okay, but obviously every time we get to a 20, this is not going to be the scenario, so then we need to also check. Let's say that tens equals 0, right? But we don't know what fives is. We've already checked. This is just basically tens is 0 and fives is at least 3. It's going to go here. And we just say fives minus equal 3 because we got to return, give them 3 fives. And then the last one is if tens is greater than 0, and we don't know how many fives we have. Or, well, tens is greater than 0, and we know we have at least 1 5, right? We can just, we're going to get rid of 110, and we're going to get rid of 1 5. And there it is. So if we come back to, oh geez, come back to that, we should get true. Great. Let's copy all this. Paste it into Leetcode. Format our code. Let's submit. Fantastic. All right, hopefully you found this video helpful and enjoyable. If you did, please like it. It helps my channel to grow. Hope to see you again if you like to see more of these, please like and subscribe my channel. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you again real soon.